I don't believe comparing yourself to others is completely bad. I don't think it's completely a bad thing to do so. And here's why. Let's do this. Basically, to compare is to estimate, measure, and note the similarities and dissimilarities between one thing and the other. So essentially, if we compare ourselves to others, it's not necessarily bad, because if, for example, we try to improve, we want to become better, and somebody has a nice talent that they're able to do something better than us, it's not necessarily wrong to just actively seek this kind of comparison, because at the end of the day, maybe you're not able right now to do so, to do the exact same thing as this person, and maybe you want to. Maybe that's something you seek. Maybe that's something you want to do. You see this person can do that, I want to do that, and since I cannot do that right now, I'm comparing myself to this person, and I want to improve, I want to change. Here I can then list what I need to change. That could be good, right? The bad part, where it starts to become a problem, is when judging is involved. Either because you compare and you feel or think you are better than the other person, or you compare in order to judge and seek a way to diminish the other person, or just make sure that the efforts that the person is doing are seen as irrelevant. All that because you might just don't want to do the work, and therefore you just dismiss the efforts that the person is doing. It's then easier for you to feel better, because then you don't have to work. You don't have to do the actual work. The way our brain is working can be pretty weird sometimes, especially when it comes to efforts. Earlier today, I saw a video of a little 12-year-old kid that was motivating people and just telling them to keep going and work, and that they need to do the actual work, and the usual motivational stuff. And that was all good and pretty nice to see. And then there were the comments. Many were encouraged by that. Many were pumped up by the message, and others were like dismissive of the message. They were just like, yeah, you don't have experience, you're too young to know anything about motivation and what to do and doing the work. You don't have any life experience yet. Sure, you might not have the experience of a 20-year-old or a 30-year-old, but it doesn't mean that the message is not necessarily true. That doesn't mean that we should completely dismiss whatever somebody says. In other words, what I'm trying to say is, if somebody gives you a nice advice, a good one, even if it's somebody that you might not necessarily trust or know, so you don't really take as much consideration of what they say compared to someone that you already know, you should still consider the advice. If it's a good advice, you probably should follow it. Limiting yourself to the opinion or point of views of people that you know and trust might not be sufficient if you want to learn more, because knowing the opinion of an adversary or somebody that thinks completely differently than you, it could still be interesting to know their point of view, so you can put more emphasis on what you believe in, and you can believe in what you believe even more. Or you could see their point of view and understand something differently. So overall, comparing yourself to somebody else's behavior or success is not necessarily bad if the intent is really to become better and grow from the comparison and understand what you could do to become better instead of just judging and dismissing whatever this person said or did. It's a bit more positive, don't you think? So with that, that's it for me today. Till tomorrow, ciao.